Hello. I hope you're all doing well. It's Saturday night, right? Uh, um, I guess not much has been going on as of late. A couple weeks, there's going to be a Pride Festival in Austin that I'm going to go to. As far as anything at all happening around here, not much. I hope you're all doing well. I guess this is like a boredom hangout or something. Pretty much, right? The only thing that crossed my mind as of right now is like veganism. Uh, I don't know if y'all are into just eating vegetables instead of sticking with just vegetables in lieu of meat. Just a sec. Because I've been watching a lot of those videos. People like Durian Ryder and Vegan Gains, and some other people like the Vegan Cheetah, and this other woman called the Unnatural Vegan, just painfully pedantic. Veganism is interesting to me at this age. Right now, I'm going to my middle age because it's like meat eating is becoming like harder on my digestion. It's just my digestive has gotten longer, to digest takes longer time. That's what I meant. And so sticking with like meat products is like a little harder on the tummy and digestion. But if you eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, of course, your digestion is nominal, pretty much. Welcome to the show, Seth. Just
Thank you.
starting off with veganism. Do you have any views on it right off the bat? I'll open the floor to you.
Yeah, I was a vegan for at least a short while, about a year. Not much to really say about it. It's
What comes at top of your head right about veganism? Is it worthwhile or not?
yeah, I think the problem with veganism isn't veganism. I think it's other people. I think
Oh,
people,
really? The people?
yeah, other people get offended when somebody else is a vegan. It's kind of like taking the moral high ground at every meal when other people don't. I don't think it's necessarily the vegans' fault. I think it's the fault of people who are around them. I was attacked a lot for being a vegan when I didn't proselytize at all.
Because you wouldn't eat a meat with them, they got angry.
Yes.
In a way,
People,
it's like Christianity. Like you go to the Christian table and they all pray, and you're not praying. You're like eating while they're praying.
yeah.
I do that all the time in my family. They're right in the middle of the prayer, and I'm like having butter and the biscuits. They're like, "Can you not at least wait till the prayer's done?" It's like, no. I guess it's like an Indy 500. Like, I'm already like taking off. When they're waiting for the go flag. Anyway, the appealing thing about veganism is that isn't it supposed to be a health improvement when you're just eating vegetables?
It can be, but I mean, you're not just eating vegetables. I mean, because wheat and beans and fruit aren't vegetables.
Like, why did you get suckered into it? Like some girl got you suckered into it or what?
No, so part of it was a health thing. I recently lost, not now, but at the time, recently lost like 60 pounds or something.
That's a
And
lot.
I ended up losing more than that. I ended up losing, I think, 70 pounds, something like that, 80
So how
pounds.
heavy did you get? Can I ask? How heavy?
So I was like, I was probably over 250. I was 250 at least. And I got
Right.
down to like 175.
Because you see, last year at this time I was
170, I think.
250. And then you just said, well, I'm so heavy. I mean, how did the needle hit zero? Why did you just go vegan?
I ended up going vegan because again, it was a health thing. I was I hit a plateau in my dieting, and I was like, all right, well, because I'm so strict on my diet anyways, I'm good at what I'm eating already. I can cut out this one thing and this one series of things, animal products, and
Right.
I think I could be happy living that way, and I was. The thing that wasn't fun was it's one thing. It was hard enough explaining to other people why I didn't finish my meal or why I'm having a salad when I wasn't when I wasn't a vegan. But when the answer was, "Oh, I'm a vegan," people became a lot more probing with their questions. Why would you do that? Where are you getting your protein? Blah 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 blah. And that phrase, "Where are you getting your protein?" isn't. I don't think people really were wondering where I'm getting my protein. It's just a stick to beat vegans with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I
Actually,
mean,
that's the first thing that jumps in my mind too. If I go vegan, like how am I get it?
well, how
You
do
know.
cows get protein?
Okay, so I mean, you can just go with like brown rice protein, and is that enough protein?
We make proteins. They're essential, like amino acids that people make. You would from your nutrients. I mean, that's how cows make it. We get our protein from cows. Cows make it from eating grass. We could. There's as far I don't know my biology that well, but I don't think cows are that much different from humans that they can make protein and we can't.
All right. So you had enough protein, you had enough nutrients. Why did you stop being a vegan?
I stopped being a vegan because of the ethical questions that I had that dragged me toward veganism were answered in a way that was satisfactory to me, and I was tired of people giving me crap about it.
So it had nothing to do with the food. It was just the people
Yeah,
made you.
no, it had nothing to do with the food. I didn't have any. I had absolutely no problem with the food that I was eating. I was never good at cooking tofu, but I still love a good what was it at God, I can't remember this. There's this place that's nearby that has the best like tofu and rice bowls. I have no problem with vegan food. Um, it's more or less, and it's telling other people that you're vegan. It was really, it's difficult when everyone's on your case about being a vegan.
Okay, so were you like watching YouTube, the YouTube vegans, and like solidarity with them, or you're just doing it on your own?
I know the course of having intellectual discussions about morality and what morals are and causing harm, and I was convinced that it was probably the rationally right choice to make.
Okay, because there's really militant vegans on YouTube. People like
Yes.
Durian Ryder, Freely the Banana Girl, um, Vegan
Uh,
Gains.
I can't think of his name right now, but Onision.
Uh-huh. And I mean, like you watch these people and say, yeah, this is the direction I'm going in, or you just said these guys are too militant or what?
I don't know about militant. I can understand their I can understand their concerns. Hold on a second. I gotta understand their concerns, and rationally they're in the right position if they believe that suffering, that what's good is not causing anything that could feel pain to suffer. Then they're being perfectly rational and saying no, 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 it's not just okay. It's not the same. It's not enough for me to say I don't want to kill animals, but the fact that you're okay with eating animals is disgusting. I can understand that position. It's not
Okay.
exactly the way I felt about it.
All right. Like okay, there's the moral high ground there, right? And then there's also this facet of where they like criticize people because of the way they look. There's like fat shaming. Did you ever notice that? Fat
Oh yeah,
shaming.
there's lots of fat shaming, especially from Onision.
Okay, so I mean, what's your take on that? Is that as big as the moral high ground, or is it bigger what you look like?
I don't know. It probably that's certainly something in like the militant vegan community that's disgusting and turns me off. Certainly, I mean, there's
Have
a
you
lot
ever
of
fat
fashion.
shamed somebody?
No, never.
unconsciously?
I never proselytized. I really didn't want to give people shit about it. The only argument I ever got into about veganism was with another vegan, and we argued about whether or not honey was vegan.
Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so a religious aspect
What
to
about it?
veganism?
Is there a religious aspect? Yeah, sure, if you're a Jain.
Well, I mean, not, traditional, but I mean, there is like a zealotry to veganism.
Oh, yeah. I think for a lot of vegans, I don't know. I've probably met vegans that I don't know of because they might have been like me who didn't say anything and just got their tofu bowls, and nobody assumed that they were vegan because they didn't. There's the old joke: how will you know if you met a vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you, right? That's a good one.
That
Okay,
wasn't me.
like if you saw a fat person eating like a hot dog, you would say that person is fat because they eat meat?
No, I didn't think that at all. I mean, there's people who got fat off of veganism, or
Because
not from
well, okay, because that's the
you can
whole
get fat from
thing
being
about
vegan.
Durian Rider. It's like the reason you're fat is because you're a paleo primal eater.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. There's lots of people who eat meat that aren't fat, and lots of people who are fat that don't eat meat. I don't know, lots of people, but it happens. There are people who eat lots and lots of like legumes and beans and other, and wheat and other not fatty, but really, really high calorie food that doesn't have any meat in it,
Okay,
or any animal products, and you can get fat off of that.
really? Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know this creature, the fat vegan. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen like super skinny vegans so far. Kind of emaciated.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder, that's, like that question that you always hated, where you getting your protein. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind when you see these guys, like, protein supplementation. Alrighty. So you're going to jump back into veganism or never again?
I might. I'm not right now. I'm not convinced that it's. I'm not sure I have moral. Well, that's not true. I do have moral duties to animals, but not such extreme moral duties as not to eventually eat some of them. They're not rational beings, and because of that, I don't have this. I don't have to be held to the same moral standard as I hold other rational beings, because only rational beings can reciprocate moral actions to me.
All right. Okay. Um, okay. So eating a cow, you don't feel bad for the cow.
I do. I do. I just don't think I don't feel bad enough to not eat the cow.
Humans have always eaten meat, so why not me? Right? Does that
Well, I
syllogism
don't know.
follow?
I'm not
I'm a
sure if
human. Humans have always
we've,
eaten meat. Why
we've
can't
eaten
I
meat
eat
since the
meat?
Pleistocene.
I mean, could you whip out that syllogism to the vegan and
No,
get
that's the
anywhere with
argument.
it?
No, that's an argument from tradition. I would never make that argument.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know if I
give me
ever
the
make that
syllogism
argument.
that I could whip on the vegan.
Well, it really it kind of goes deep into who we have moral duties towards, and it's going to be a difficult argument to get into. But basically, I don't think that I have the same moral duties to a cow as I do to another human. I can't eat another human because he has that we have a social contract. He's a rational
Higher
being.
cognitive function.
Yeah, higher cognitive function. He can analyze and understand that I'm treating him in a certain way, and he can reciprocate. Morals don't mean anything if the person who I'm being moral to can't ever reciprocate or have any even possibility to reciprocate. Cows can't.
Interesting.
Which
All
might
right.
be why it's actually morally wrong to eat dogs, because dogs do morally reciprocate from the way that they're treated. They work for us and we work for them. There's a symbiosis between us and dogs.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a good point to bring up. Okay. Um, the Christian vegan, such a thing, or never have you encountered?
I don't know if I've ever encountered it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt that it could happen. It seems actually pretty plausible that there'd be a Christian vegan.
Jesus
I'm surprised.
ate meat or not? Sure he did, huh?
Well, I'm not sure if there's fish, but I'm not sure if it even says that he ate those fish. I'm not sure. I'm just going through my head if there's any Bible passages that explicitly say that Jesus ate meat, and I'm not sure if there are.
All right. Okay. Should like Christians even be concerned? Okay, of course, in the Bible it says, you know, the dietary laws, right? But just the Christians. I mean, didn't they come up with that thing in Acts where you can eat everything? Okay, basically, didn't Acts come up with some new dietary laws?
Acts? I don't
You know,
know.
the
I'm not that I'm
Acts
aware
of
of.
the Apostles or something, as far as you know. I don't know. I think so. They came up with some new dietary laws. Say, hey, it's
Not that
open
I'm aware.
season. Go ahead, and if God made it, you can eat it. Right? Is the Christian ideal?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a Christian. Oh, I mean, not. I don't think that's a Christian ideal because God made fermenting fruit and alcohol isn't exactly you're not supposed to get drunk.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess there's limits to that. Okay, so vegan can get drunk, huh? Fine.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm just trying to figure out the limits. I'm just watching it from afar and just enjoying it. So how have you been doing today? Big weekend?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta respond to this.
Hi, bro, Joe.
Yeah, right now I'm actually waiting for sacerdotus, some theist Catholic idiot. I mean, really, guys. Maybe he's not an idiot. From what I've seen him write, he's not exactly the most intelligent person. Keeps having these quote unquote atheist open mic nights where no atheist participates, and he drones on for 2 hours. So finally, I took him up on his offer to send him an email with my quote unquote short bio in it.
Oh, wow, an audition.
Yeah, pretty much. The guy's like he started those atheist open mic nights, and I keep telling him, no one can join these. You haven't posted a link. And he's
Right.
like, oh well, no, people could join. I invited you. Like, no, I'm invited to watch. You invited people to watch. Nobody can join. And he argued with me for about like 2 days over it. And finally, he started doing them in a different way. He would start them. And then he said, okay, send me an email with, this information and that information. And I said, no, I'm not going to jump through hoops. I mean, if you want, you don't have a following. You don't have any kind of clout. You don't really have this. You don't need to be that professional. Invite some people, have an argument with them, and see where it goes. And if you get popular enough, then maybe people will want to send you an email with all this information, and you could actually make them jump through hoops. But for now, you should just invite people. And he's like, no. And he wanted the specific information. So this time he was a lot more vague, and he posted one mentioning me, saying that I'm lying when I'm saying that people can't join his hangout. So I said, okay, we'll do this. I will send you a quote unquote short bio, my name, my age in a range of 10 years, the county where I live, and my theological position, my major theological position, which is strong atheist. You can take it or leave it. That's what I'm sending you, and it's supposed to start 10 minutes ago, and haven't heard from him yet.
Okay, just curious. You first saw this guy in Nadia's hangout?
No. He's never been in any hangout other than his own, from what I can tell.
Oh. So no wonder. I mean, the guy, doesn't he understand that he has to, like, network?
No. I don't think he doesn't. He's got his own. He's got his own. I don't know, GoDaddy page or something, where he's made his own website, and it's got a bunch of those, online made comics, those pre-made comics, where he's portrayed as a guy with sunglasses. He's a cool guy, and he lists really lame arguments against atheism, like why people don't trust atheists, and they're just really childish and mundane.
Okay, this is a young man or an old man?
I can't really tell.
Can't tell. All right, well.
If I had to guess, I would think he's like 25.
Well, shit. Okay, we want to see if these guys have game. They're coming into the community, see if they got any game. This
Well,
guy has no game,
I don't
right?
I don't think he has I don't think he has the cojones to actually join the quote unquote community. I think he likes being sectioned off in his own little corner where he has all the control and he doesn't have to argue with anybody he thinks might be smarter than him.
Right. It's like joining a chess club and then not playing with anybody. Right.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes to the chess club and he sits out in the car in the parking lot. That's the guy does.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking is happening because he claimed, it was going to start at 8:30 tonight, and I'm not getting any invite. I asked him what's going on. I
Okay.
kind of expected this to happen.
As far as all the chess opponents in the community, who do you think has game that you think is worth, is like somebody like an Adam Pugh or something? Nephilim
Hold on.
free.
Hold on a second. I really want to get this guy to actually give me a fucking response. What the hell's going on? Because I planned my night slightly around this.
Interesting, huh? Cordial. Some of the players that have game, I would think like, let me think, who has game theologically wise? I mean, I was watching that Jason Kubel guy last night, and I was like thinking, boy, that's easy, low hanging fruit. I don't know what hangout that was. I think it was some after the Dogma, deeper than Dogma after market show.
That's him. I'm gonna join it. See ya.
Okay, well, have a good one. Good luck.
Right on.
Boy. All righty. I was being two hangouts at the same time there. I guess not. Anyway, just to the viewers, I treat it like a chess club. The whole community, be it atheist or theist, you're gonna have people with certain viewpoints and theologicals, and then if you just watch, if you hang around here long enough and see enough of it, you sort of like learn all the chess moves, and so you can at least go to a hangout and see if these people are doing legal moves, right? Like if somebody takes their knight and moves it in a diagonal fashion or horizontal, then they're doing illegal moves. Like in our case, something mundane is like saying, hey, Jesus, isn't God, he's the son of God. That have you met those Christians yet? I don't know if you all have, that they don't afford God status to Jesus. That's an interesting Christian. Let me see. All right, we talked veganism. It's funny, some people look, I guess like a big part of veganism is the morality of the whole thing, right? But strange enough, since I'm sort of immoral, I always just look at the food, what kind of food do you get to eat? Will I try veganism? I don't know, maybe someday. Oh, can you hold on a second? I'll just got to do some quick caretaking. Okay, they'll come back. Thank you for watching. All right. Yeah, I guess vamping on the mechanics of the great debate community, if it's any interest to you guys. All right. Seth said something that kind of was interesting to me, struck a chord about, how you're invited to these hangouts, but you can't join. I mean, you're invited to watch, but you can't actually, go into the hangout. I mean, I guess it's, that happens to me all the time. I get the invite, and then I look until you see that thing that says actually join the hangout, then you can join. Anyway, that's something I've noticed. So let me see. Things that are interesting, like right now, like dancing, having money, the wherewithal to do things. I don't know. I mean, I guess life can get pretty simple that way. I've never been married, so I don't know about, relying upon like a spouse, or maybe, being the spouse to somebody as far as to alleviate their boredom. Let me think. Things that come to mind. Fat shaming. All right. Fat shaming is when you actually tell the other person about their image, right? Their size, image, something like that. Your opinion about it. Let's say, it could be good, bad. Well, I guess it had to be in a pejorative. If you tell them something negative about the other person's image, then you are fat shaming. But there's also something like, I've detected it, in some of these vegan videos. It's sort of like an amazement, like a gawking, like navel gazing in a way towards fat people. Because we do have, like, of course, YouTube. It goes without saying that we have tons of videos on YouTube telling you stories. And so you just look at these stories of fat people. Like, I came over some yesterday that I was looking, I click on my freaking, fitness stuff that I look at. And then on the side, how it pops up in YouTube, it has other videos you can look at. And of course, they have these ones about, I eat 30,000 calories a day. And it's like incredible. So watch that. And, fat people exercising, fat people jiggling, fat people. There's social justice warrior fat people. And there's like, just trying to make a buck, exploitation, fat people. Anyway, so it's like, so you can just watch and just, for lack of a better idiom, freak show. I was watching that, and I posted, I feel like, well, sometimes I do get that vibe, I post this stuff on my feed, people reply, it's like, what's your point, Bunto? What are you trying, it's just, so I think, am I fat shaming? Right? I mean, you just jump to your mind. When you make an observation about somebody's size openly, I am, in a way, when I do those things, I'm just like sort of reaching out on my own, but I guess if I look at it, if I'm sitting in honest to watch what I'm doing, you can see it's just fat shaming. And it's sort of like, how can you avoid that by making an observation? I don't know. I do believe we do have a fat epidemic. I mean, okay, this is what happens. I mean, it's sort of like you observe these videos on YouTube, and then you come to some sort of position or realization in your mind about how these things exist. Right. I'm just saying that. And then when you go to like the store, because I like went to the store today, and then I'm looking at the other people at the store, and I'm realizing, okay, well, I like to make myself clarify. It's like, that there is a span, there's a spectrum of what obese is, right? Like, how can I say? I saw both, ends of the spectrum of the thing. I saw like some guy saying he has love handles, and I mean, he's perfect. The guy's, obviously just nitpicking on his own body. And then there's this incredibly, 700-pound, 800-pound type people, right? The other end of the spectrum. And what I'm trying to say is that, okay, so you get this knowledge in your head for a night, and you go to the store the next morning, and then you're looking at people, and you're sort of like, Well, the thing is, there's unmistakably, we do have overweight people. I mean, what's the difference? Obese, overweight? Obese means, I guess obese, I have to ask somebody when they come in here. Obese implies like something that deleterious to their health. While you're overweight, I mean, you're just big, you know? There's no getting around it. I mean, okay, for the obese person is, you know, in their best interest to lose weight. But the overweight person, I guess, can just be overweight. You know, they can carry it. They want to, if they wish. I went to the gym, you know, and just people always working out there, and you know, they're just mainly. I've never seen. Well, I mean, we have a few people that are, I would say, obese. You know, that they're definitely in their best interest to go there. Just a few people, you know, and there's a big gym, you know, just a few people I'd say that are obese, but there's a lot of overweight people, you know, overweight. And things are, you know, I rarely go to the gym on a Saturday. You know, the reason I have to go to the gym on Saturday is because it's too damn hot. It's like 100 degrees out by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's hot. So, you know, I just watered the yard today, and then, you know, went to the gym to go walk there for an hour, you know, do some cardio for like an hour, and, you know, just do some body weight calisthenics. And there's, you know, one or two guys over there. Shoot, it seems like better pickings during the week. Friendly guys, young guys. So I was glad I went. Um, you know, you just see these people's. I mean, they just get used to you. It's a good social community. I advise anyone to start looking into it. Um, what other things of interest? You know, I just always know. I tell you, it's like amazing that these people can just talk on and on and on in their hangout. And for me, it's sort of like, you know, I just go over subject, and I think I hit a boring quick. I just can't, you know, bloviate or just talk like a lot of people do. I'll try my best though, for your sake. Um, okay, covered veganism, great debate community. Oh well, you know. Okay, how about this one? People that you interacted with um, at a, you know, a lot previously, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's something happened, like maybe a falling out, or they move on in life, and then they come back in. You know, in a way, it's sort of like you know, if you're in this community long enough, you get used to that. You know, wow, they're back here. You know, what's going on, Bunto? It's like, you know, hey, good seeing you again. Um, happened today twice, so let me think. I'm usually friendly, always. You know, it's a brand new day. Chalkboard's blank. Unless I get the feeling that the person doesn't want me to, like, you know, take it to where it was before, right? I guess um, that I'll just, I guess, be a lot more, you know, cockpit sterile. I can. Um, I get kicked out of people's circles every once in a while. Maybe, I don't know, once a month or something. Something will happen. The person finally gets tired of my ass and kicks me out. So, I mean, shit. I mean, I don't know. Not, you know, I could say something as corny, hackneyed as like I'm too old to change, but I mean, it's just, there's enough people, you know, in the world. I mean, I don't see how, you know, mitigating who I am, you know, for your benefit of leaving it is, you know, my main aim besides just enjoying life as it is. Uh, I guess, you know, I've always treated this community like therapy, right? You can interact with people and, you know, better one's life or better their lives, contribute to it. I mean, it's a good thing. I've always enjoyed it. So it's the approach I take. As far as like interviews, like, you know, to me, like this hangout is just like a, you know, half reaction, half blow off steam. You know, there's not much going on. And then there's the interviews, right? Where I like line up people to interview and stuff. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just not there as far as, you know, jumping after that stuff. You know, there are plenty of interesting people, I guess, but I'd have to go pursue them, to go interview them. You know, fire in the belly. That's what they say. Fire in the belly. Get the fire in the belly. Go interview these people. I just like to let things come organically, you know, and just sort of bubble up to the top. It happens when it happens. Of course, that, you know, just cross my mind. Things that cross my mind real quick. That skill has always been there, so you know, it can happen. It just has to, you know, proper time, you know, proper moment. Let me see if I can vamp for like another 2 or 3 minutes on something. What is interesting? I know it's like I'm a terribly boring person after all. All right. I guess I just talked to myself then. Things that interested me now. Okay. There's this thing at the fitness level, right, at the gym. Let me think if I can just vamp on it. It's like they call it progressive overload. And what that's about is that, you know, they always say they want your numbers up. So, you know, let's say 1 week you lift 50 pounds, the next week maybe lift 55. You know what I mean? It's like progressive, like, you know, getting numbers up where you can prove to yourself that you're getting stronger, that you're doing something, that you're improving yourself, right? Through the numbers, strength training, let's say. Okay. Sure. I mean, why not? Strength training. But the thing is, what I have discovered is that, you know, that there's different directions or flavors of strength that you're going in, right? Strength, not so much as like, you know, actual power strength, but just strength as an endurance and the ability to do it. So I've been doing a lot of that type of progressive overload. You know, like I guess in weightlifting and in resistance training, they call it like reps to failure. You know, just seeing if you can do one more when you're about to fall on your face or something. basically that attitude. It's interesting to me, you know. So the thing is, like, I don't think I'm not necessarily a weightlifter or resistance trainer. I'm more of like a runner. But that's right. You know, used to do where I was. My fittest was when I was running. So now it's like, you know, I wonder if I'm doing that transition of moving over into running. So, you know, extra laps. You know, the thing is, like, it's like when I do weightlifting, you can look at a mirror, you know, and just watch yourself, I guess, you know, count and look at the mirror. But when you're running, it's sort of like you can just conjure up images in your head that will motivate you. It's like a different approach to like resistance training. So you really just play mind games with yourself when you're running. And you just wonder if like other people do that too. I wonder if they do. Oh well. I guess I'll just boogie on down, see what else. Maybe some other people are having more interesting hangouts than mine. I'll go visit them. But have a great weekend. Have a great week. And I wish you all well. Take care. This is Bunto. Signing out. Take care.